It's time for What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. Here's your host, Phil McDougall.
Welcome, Reno. This is Phil McDougall, your host, and you're on What Drives Reno. I'm excited. We have a great lineup for you again today. Terry, I'm excited because in addition to our guests today, I got some stories that people are going to tune in on. So I had the pleasure of being on Jay Leno's Garage last week. Okay. There's some stories that involve Jay, myself, and no breaks. So stay tuned. If you're watching, you want to come back to that one because obviously he is one of the nicest men you ever met in your life. We've had 3 different shows with him in 4 years, 4 cars in 4 years. That's great exposure for us, and we're very, very happy. He's been supporting the museum for a long time. But this was the most nerve-wracking one I've ever had, and it involves faulty brakes. So stay tuned when we get into the rest of that show after commercial break. Right now, though, I want to introduce our first guest. It's Arlien and Miguel, and they're with the Wicked Wayz Lowrider Club. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So what we tell people at the beginning is we want to ask them a couple of things. We want to ask them first what your first car was, and if there's any stories you want to share with it. People, I want to be into storytelling on this show. It's not an infomercial. It's to get to know you, understand the organization, but also just to know a little bit about your background as well and how we got to this point with the Wicked Wayz Lowrider Club.
Yes.
Well, Miguel had the coolest car, so I'm going to let him start with what his cool car was that he actually used to pick me up in high school from. And, go
nice.
For it.
Well, growing up, my first vehicle was an 1982 Oldsmobile Cutlass. I felt like I needed to get a car. You know, everybody around me, with the lowrider culture, had those type of cars and even older cars as far as all the Impalas. So as far as my stand of getting a car was affordable for me at the time. So G bodies for me growing up was always easy on the price and affordable for my age. So
what was it again? What was it?
A 1982 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
And that was your first car? Was the first car that
we used to date him.
Yes.
I wasn't sure you were a couple. You didn't tell me, so I wasn't sure. Okay, now I know.
It's my wife, Arlene.
All right, so now this interview is going to get really more interesting.
Yes.
Second part is tell us the most embarrassing story about your significant other, but we'll get into that after commercial break.
Oh, my gosh.
So no, we won't go there. He's already getting nervous, I can tell.
No, I try to think of one.
Arlene, tell us about your first car.
Well, my first car was a 1990 Beretta. So that was not too exciting, not like Mr. Miguel's lowrider.
And any cool stories you want to share?
The only cool story I want to share is going up and down Whittier Boulevard in our Beretta.
Nice memories.
Nice memories.
I say the same thing. I know I say it all the time, but it was freedom. And I had an interview earlier today with Congressman Amidai, and he literally could recite every part of the car he had. He knew everything down to, I think, the registration number. I mean, I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone all that kind of detail, but it always brings back usually good memories, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, all right, so let's get into it. So you're with the Wicked Wayz Lowriders. Tell me about the organization.
Well, We are originally from Los Angeles, California. So as we moved here to Reno, Nevada, my passion was there, but I didn't fully succeed. Of course, with the kids and stuff, getting into high school and college. So as soon as that all was
done, those
other
things that get in our way of all the things
always
we
do.
To have fun.
Always
those
do. So
kids.
I try to put the time into the cars, but the kids always hiccup. They need things or whatever. So as soon as all this was said and done and out of my way, I decided to focus back to what I grew up in. My culture, everything that was around me, and we, like I said, we brought the style of Los Angeles to Reno, Nevada.
Great.
We were founded in 2013.
Okay, been around for a while.
Yes, Miguel started with his 1984 Buick Regal. We used to actually cruise that Whittier Boulevard up and down. So when we relocated to Reno, Nevada, it sat in the backyard untouched for many years. And then in 2013, actually it was like 2012, he's decided to get it going. Once he had it up and running, 2013, we were officially notarized by the Lowrider magazine as an official lowrider club.
Great.
And in 2025, we officially gained our nonprofit status.
That's
Wayz.
great, and that's not easy to do. A lot of paperwork to go through. So what's the significance of 2013 when you took it out of the backyard? Is that tied to when your kids were off the payroll?
Yes.
Or really? Yes. I was just joking.
Yes. No.
Actually, you nailed it. You nailed
Absolutely, you nailed
Yes.
it. Our daughter was graduating high school, and she was off to college that year, and it all fell into place right after that.
And we can start doing what we want to do.
That's right. It was
I'm
our
still
second
waiting for
breath
that.
of
My
life.
wife says I've had like 5 midlife crises in my life. So
Only 5?
Only 5 in the last year or so
Okay.
already. So, but we're always looking to do things we want to have fun at. And if you get back to what you're passionate about, there's nothing like it, right?
Absolutely.
So you went and started the nonprofit. Tell us more about the organization. Tell us about the culture. This is your moment. This is your 5 minutes to shine in front of
1.8 billion. China wakes up here shortly.
Great.
Oh, awesome.
Billion listeners.
You know, I think most importantly for us, Wicked Wayz Lowriders is about changing the narrative. For a long time, lowriders are misunderstood and associated with the wrong things. But by using these cars for charities, we're showing Reno that the car is a canvas, the club is a family, and our goal is respect.
See, I love that because I was going to bring it up if you didn't. There's certain perceptions of lowrider clubs. I've got a chance to talk with a lot of them. With the National Automobile Museum, we've had a lot of the local clubs in here. We've done a Museum Cup series. We've had displays. One of the most popular displays we've ever had was the lowriders.
Absolutely. They're rolling art.
Tell us some of the things that you want people to understand that might have a bad impression or just want to educate people on, because you just kind of summed it up nicely there. But when you get involved, for example, in the charities, talk about some of that stuff, whatever comes to mind.
You want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think most of the time, most of our club members, they're your neighbors. They're in suits. They're not your stereotypical gang members, right? They are just like me and you. And so we get together and we're a brotherhood. We're not just car club members. We're a brotherhood. We're
That's
a
what
family.
I've heard.
We're absolutely. And
Camaraderie.
Absolutely. It's all about that camaraderie. We're all on the same page. We just want to give back, you know, and most of the neighborhoods that we do outreach in are the neighborhoods we came from, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is what we're targeting. You know, the car gets the attention, right? And then once we have you looking, now we're going to take it to the next level of keeping the kids' attention, working hard, and just connecting the two.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I think, like with the museum, we'll tie into the museum. We have the cars that are in the museum, 250 of them there, all different types. But once they get into that, it's not just about the cars. It's about the history. It's about the culture, the car clubs, the camaraderie that are in there. It's hard to explain. For people who are part of other kind of clubs and organizations, they have that bond. Your lowrider club is the same way. And every one of your members, like you said, they're the postmen. They're the people working at the store. They're the ones running the companies. It's a very diverse group of individuals out there that are community members, really engaged.
Well, and when people see a beautiful car delivering toys or school supplies, the scary stereotype disappears, right? Now you understand we're just not lowriders or gangbangers. We are actually, we're humans. We're business people. We want to give back. And
you're passionate. You're passionate about it. What were we going to say?
What I was going to say was that behind all that, nobody sees the hard work that goes into these cars.
The build.
You know, the build. The build, you know, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of overtime, a lot of planning, saving. So the passion, you know, it's all there. The culture's there. The thing is that we work just as hard as anyone else, but our style is different. Every car is appreciated. These are ground build cars. So, and believe me, it's stressful. Sometimes money runs out. Sometimes you got to put a pause, but it'll gain back, you know, to your goal. But there's a lot of time put into these cars, and it's an art form, you know, and it's a rolling canvas going down the street.
I love that.
Yeah, so from every bolt, just like any hot rodder, anybody that builds a car, you know, I know everyone's style is different, but this is our style. This is our culture, and it is beautiful. You know, it's very beautiful.
Can I just share something with you? And I don't know if you guys can relate to this or not, but I'll walk up and they'll have people like with tattoos.
Yes.
And I've always said, oh, well, don't ask them. But one of my good friends, my mentor, every time I go with him somewhere, he'll say, no matter where he is, he'll go up to a total stranger, go, I see that tattoo, what does that mean? And they'll go explain it, and they're really passionate about that. Like you said, it's rolling canvas. I had the pleasure of, and I was totally naive, I had the pleasure of having the car clubs, the lowriders in there, and I went down to the Peterson Museum. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Oh, yes.
Their lowrider exhibit was off the charts, and I had a chance to really, for the first time, look, the engraving under the car, the paintings, they were all personal things. And when I asked them about the stories, I was like, oh my God, I wish I had done this earlier. So I'm glad you touched on that, because they're expressions of you and what you believe in.
Yeah, and then being here in Reno, Nevada, we're limited to resources. So a lot of our resources have to be going back to bigger cities, as far as Northern California, Southern California, Oregon, wherever the whatever is it that you're trying to accomplish, as far as, like you said, the engraving or any of the paint or whatever it is, we have to source it outside a bigger city.
We're very limited in Reno.
So of course you're gonna see those extravagant cars in a big city. Everything that's it's pretty much is like, don't touch, don't get away, and they get pretty technical with that. The best is the best in the big cities.
Yeah, but expensive. Someone shared with me some of the numbers as far as the engraving. The trunk underneath it, the mirrors there. Yes. I had no idea it was worth more than I paid for my first house. So it is an investment. It takes time, and you're really passionate about it. Would you like to share something else?
No, I just think it's part of the passion in the project, and seeing that passion of your project be able to mentor kids on the street is what makes it and brings it full circle.
Yeah, so Wicked Wayz is always trying to give back to our community. Whatever that may be, every aspect is different. So, but the joy on just having the kids look up to this kind of craftsmanship or this kind of style that they want to adapt to, we encourage all that. We try to give them some pointers or try to help whatever, it is, but our main goal is to always give back to the community and help everyone in need, whoever our foot places in,
Yep.
To put it simple, we like our cars to stay low, but we like to keep our community high, and we want to uplift them. We want to keep them as high as we can and uplift as much as we can.
That's perfect. See, I should have asked you to wrap up with that. That's a perfect way to say it. I love that. So in the time we have left, we have a couple of minutes. Is there something specifically you would like us to know about our listeners that's coming up, or a way they can get more involved, or is there a particular charity? Anything that comes up that you feel, because I want to offer you right now that if there's anything the museum can do as far as a display, doing a exhibit or exhibition inside or outside, I would love to do that, because
Absolutely.
we change our exhibits every 60 days at the museum, and we have a huge following. We did our lowrider exhibit a couple of times now. We had like 8 or 9, and one time we had like 21. I would love to sit there and showcase it more often. So Absolutely. I'm offering that. And then in the final minute or so, is there anything you'd like to share for people who are listening, how they can get more involved? Or
for the community, there's always something we could always help in, and something we can show our young youth. The best way to communicate with us is it'll be in our IG handles or our emails. Facebook, yeah. Well, so it's pretty much easy. They message us, and we'll get the response. So we'll get the questions, and we'll respond from our IG, and then we can always engage with them further depending what the need is.
And the museum, we're going to be posting this show as well next week for those of you who didn't catch it live here on the radio. But we'll put the information in there as well. So your Facebook is just Wicked Wayz Lowrider. What's the correct?
Wicked Wayz CC.
Wicked Wayz CC Lowriders.
With the Z. Wicked Wayz with the Z. Most of the time you can Google us too. It'll also take you right to our social media pages. There's some great articles as well, and some information about who we are and what we do. Okay. Like we said, we just started. We are with the city of Reno. We are doing one of our shows for a day in the park with lowriders, June 20th.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's going to be great. at Paradise Park in Reno, Nevada. So with the city's help and with our help, we're able to bring like lowriders back in the park on a, beautiful summer evening. And so we would like everyone to join us. And if they want to find out more information, any of us with the Wicked Wayz shirt, we're able to help you, talk to you, provide info.
I love that. And then afterwards, you got to do Wicked Wayz on the patio at the National Automobile Museum.
You said it.
We could fit probably about at least 30 or so on the patio out there.
We'll do.
Yeah, that'll work too, yeah.
Final words? Thank you for coming on. And
we appreciate the opportunity for being here, at least, and also to let the engage with the community and everyone out there listening to your guys' broadcast.
I just encourage people to learn more and get involved. You just hit some things that I think most people wouldn't automatically think about. The camaraderie, the way of expressing yourself on the art, the investment that takes place in that, all really important things. But most importantly, what stood out to me is your passion and commitment to be a good community partner and engage with that. So thank you both very much for everything you've done, and thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having
appreciate
us.
that.
We appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
We'll be back with more What Drives Reno on 1060 AM KFOY, Radio for America.
I'm having my birthday at the National Automobile Museum. They have this cool birthday zone with Mater and Lightning McQueen. And their brand new Children's Activity Center has fun games like Junior Engineering Studio, Lego Building, an interactive car wash, and a lot more too. They even have a theater where we can watch a movie or play Mario Kart. I even get my own birthday t-shirt.
Book your child's ultimate birthday party today at the National Automobile Museum. Visit automuseum.org/events.
Looking for a venue for your next event? The National Automobile Museum can host any event in a variety of venues to choose from. Have an awards ceremony in the 157-seat theater or select one of several themed galleries for a business luncheon or banquet. Guests will love the 16,000 square foot Riverside Pavilion, complete with outdoor bar, heaters, and fire pits. Everything you need, including chairs, linens, staging, and AV equipment, are also available. Go to automuseum.org for details.
We're back with more What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. And now, here's your host, Phil McDougall.
Welcome back, Reno. Again, this is your host, Phil McDougall, and you're on What Drives Reno, made possible by the National Automobile Museum, recently awarded number 5 Best Automobile Museum in the entire country by USA Today. TripAdvisor votes us number 1 favorite place to visit in Reno, and we're kind of fond of the place. We have 250 cars. If you've not been down to the museum, we encourage you to visit us. Why? Because every 60 days we have something new. Terry, what's the latest thing we have? Ask me.
What's the latest thing we have?
Well, we had the Mystery Machine that came in 2 weeks ago.
All right.
Shaggy was there, and all the characters were there, and they're still going to be there for another month or so. And then we just got the famous Grease Lightning.
Oh,
and
very
I'm going
nice.
to talk about that for the movie from Grease.
Yeah.
John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. And afterwards, Terry's going to sing
Grease Lightning.
a version of that. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss that. I'm going to get into that after our next guest interview, talk about some really cool things. And then to remind you, I had the pleasure of being on Jay Leno's Garage last week, so I left you with a little teaser about brakes going out. So I'm sure you're just sitting there waiting to hear the whole story, and really, they did go out. So, all right, I'm going to switch gears now and jump right into our next guest. Our next guest is Ronald Trevor. Ronald, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Phil. Call me Ron, please.
Ron, I'm going to call you Ron. Ron, you are with S.A.V.E, and for those who don't know, it's a senior auxiliary volunteer effort.
That's correct, and we work in conjunction with Reno Police Department. The organization was formed in 1997, and we do non-confrontational activities that assists Reno PD and allows the police officers to get out there and take care of crime.
And you have a meeting at our museum, in our theater, on a regular basis?
We do. We meet the third Tuesday of every month at the National Auto Museum, and we really appreciate the ability to be able to do that. We meet at 10 o'clock in the morning. It runs an hour.
Yeah, we love having you there. In addition to that, when we do events, you guys have been great supporters of ours, helping us at our summer concert series, and we're very, very grateful. But before we get into the meat, I just heard something before the show started. It's very interesting to me, and I want to know, I heard a little rumor that someone in this room got a key to the city recently.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, first of all, let me start out by saying the way I was honored, it's kind of like the opposite of "don't shoot me, I'm the messenger."
Okay, explain that.
Well, I go in front of the Reno City Council 4 times a year, and I give them our stats for the previous quarter. So whenever they see Ron Trevor showing up, they go, "Oh boy, how much money did we save this time?" So it's going in there with good news. But we have 80...
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt real quick. They must really love you coming in then. Because I can imagine, I would say, I'm not going on a limb, most of the people aren't coming in, they're just saying, what a hell of a job you're all doing.
Yeah.
It's more like we've spent more than we have, or we're in debt. And you're coming in with good news. That's great.
You got it. I'm like one of the very few that goes in with good news. So they see Ron Trevor, and it's like, wow, this is great. And I will say that since we started compiling stats in the year 2000, S.A.V.E. has saved the city of Reno over $10.5 million.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Now, but don't lose track of that for a second, because in this day and age, that's a lot of money. So when people, I had no idea, literally shocked. So we're going to get into it, but how do you save that kind of money?
It's the hours volunteered by our members, and I mean what we're doing. We're going out and we're doing. We monitor parking lots in like strip malls, Walmart, casinos, things along that line. We're doing handicap enforcement.
Okay.
And so we have the ability to write the tickets for if someone's parked in a spot without a handicap placard or plate.
One of my personal pet peeves.
Mm-hmm. Well, they get it. I mean, I can tell you, I was working the office this morning. I had a call from someone from St. Mary's Hospital. There was someone parked and taking up 2 spaces with no placard. I sent somebody over there, and we gave them a little love note for $250.
That's so, that's so not what I consider a love note, but yeah, okay.
Our main activity really is going out and tagging cars that had been deemed as abandoned. Mm-hmm. And this comes through Reno Direct. We receive, they're called service requests. We go through, we print them up, we send our patrols out, we mark them, and then they're turned over to parking enforcement. So that's probably the majority of hours. We also man City Hall front desk, act as an ambassador, a receptionist, basically. We do foot patrols, but all the numbers add up. There is a number that is applied to the cost of a volunteer that comes from a national organization, and that's how it's calculated. We have the number of hours times the number of the dollar figure, and that's how we come up with a figure.
But bottom line is significant savings. So no wonder they like you.
Yes.
So tell me,
they love me.
They don't like you. See, they don't like me. They love us.
They love me.
So tell me a little bit about this key to the city. How did that happen?
So I was in front of the Reno City Council in October, and after I gave my report, the mayor asked me if we were ready for our appreciation dinner, which we hold every December. It's held at the El Dorado, and it's a real nice dinner that's put on, and we honor our members. Local businesses donate prizes that are given away as like door prizes almost for our people, including the National Auto Museum.
Thank you.
And so after the dinner, the mayor was there, and she was up on the stage, and she was telling everybody, you guys got to come to the city council meeting on January 28th because we're going to proclaim that day to be Ron Trevor Day.
You got a Ron Trevor Day.
I got a Ron Trevor Day. Yeah, it's like, whoa.
I don't even have that in my family. I don't have I don't have a Phil McDougall hour day.
I can't tell you what I said on stage, but I can tell you the mayor stopped, turned back, and said, Ron said a bad word. Yeah, it caught me by surprise. And then she says, oh, and then we're going to give you this key to the city. And we don't do that very often. She said the last time that happened was when we gave it to the rock group Kiss. And I think that was in 2017 or 2019, something like that. So it doesn't happen very often. So, yeah, I got a day, and I also got a key to the city, but it's all due to the efforts of S.A.V.E.
Well, no, that's great. Yeah. And I was going to mention real quickly, the mayor is a huge supporter of the National Automobile Museum, and I am personally a huge supporter of Hillary. She has done so much for this town and so much for the museum. So I'm glad that she honored it, and I'm going to tease her now and say, how come you got a key?
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. All right, so tell me a little bit more about S.A.V.E. I think people have heard the name. You kind of gave a brief overview. How can they get involved, or what are some of the things you want to make sure our listeners know about the organization, or how they can get more involved?
Okay, well, requirements are ages 50 and above. There's really no cap on the high end. We've had members that retired in the high 80s. So there's lots of different activities that can be done. As I mentioned, we do car patrols, and that's done with 2 people in the car. And we do walking patrols. We walk the quarter, downtown quarter. And then we also do City Hall front desk. And like City Hall front desk doesn't require so much in terms of physical activity, but like car patrol, you got to be able to get in and get out of a car, be okay with that. I mentioned we do abandoned vehicles. We post them, and then we call it in, make sure it's not a stolen vehicle. We recover stolen vehicles. Not a huge number, but probably 1 or 2 a month. We'll come across one, and then it gets turned over to Reno PD. We do school patrols where we'll drive through the school zone, making sure no one's speeding, looking for any weird activities or unusual activities we might see around the school. We do the same with parks. We do park patrols. We also do traffic surveys, which is basically with a speed gun. We're taking, recording the vehicles that are driving through a particular area.
Sorry, let me interrupt real quick. So do most people in S.A.V.E. have a police background, a law enforcement background, or they're very diverse?
Very diverse. Very few actually have police experience. Have a lot of veterans. We have a lot of retired veterans.
Okay.
But you'll never guess in a million years what I did.
Let's find out. Okay. What did you do?
I did apparel manufacturing for about 45 years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, anything but what I'm doing now.
Yeah. How did you get into it?
Apparel manufacturing? Into S.A.V.E.?
Who brought you in?
A fella that was already in the organization. He was the president of our HOA, actually, and I was talking to him at a picnic, and he started talking to me about S.A.V.E., and I thought, wow, this sounds really good. You know, it's something I can do to fill my time. Not working anymore, or working very little, I should say. But it was just a great opportunity to fill some time, and I felt very good about giving back to the community.
No, it's great. It's great that you do that. For our listeners, what are some of the things that you observe the most of? Is there anything that jumps out at you, like in Reno, that most people should be aware of, or any helpful tips for people that are experiencing what they notice a car there, suspicious activity? Any words of advice?
Well, they need to contact Reno Direct, and there's a phone number I can give. It's area code 775-334-4636. If they call Reno Direct, they can work on putting together a service request, and then we can get out there and take care of it.
Is there anything that's on the rise or things you're seeing more recently, or you smiled? Why?
Vehicles without plates or unregistered vehicles.
You see a lot of that, a lot more?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Is there anything jumped out? You had a big smile when I said that, so it must have came to your immediately to your mind.
Well, we just started. Normally our car patrols only work off service requests.
Okay.
And we've just started the last couple of months. We have the ability to go ahead and initiate a service request based on a vehicle with no plates.
Okay. Well, in the few minutes we have left, is there something specifically you want to convey to our listeners on how they get involved or information you'd like to share with them? Because I neglected to ask you a very important question I usually do in the beginning. I'm going to save it at the end. It's going to be, what was your first car? But is there anything before we get into that?
Well, you need to also ask me my last car.
Your last
first
car.
And last.
All right.
First and last.
Let's just skip to that right now then.
Okay.
Let's go right into your first car and your last car. Let's go. And there's probably like 50 or 60 years in between that, but we'll go take the highlights.
Okay. The first car was a 1956 Chevy Bel Air, two-door hardtop. Had a 283 punched out to a 292, and had a racing cam in it. And the guy I got it from took the 4-speed out, put a 3-speed in it, and I was blowing a lot of 3-speeds.
I bet.
I would go through those things about every 2 months, and I got really good at dropping the transmission, getting it down to the junkyard, getting the exchange, and getting it back in. I was a pro.
Yeah. Your last car?
Just got this summer. It's a 32 Ford Coupe.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I'm all ready to roll for hot August nights.
And I forgot to ask you, is there a particular thing that comes to mind the first time you addressed city council?
Oh.
And the mayor?
Yeah. Well,
that was me. I told everybody to turn their phones off.
You didn't tell me, but I was off.
to do it.
You didn't tell me, but I was
Porter Felton called me. Porter, right in the middle of the show.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me about the first time.
Okay, so my first experience with Reno City Council was in 2018. The fella that I replaced had moved suddenly back east, and they needed a replacement really quick. So I said, fine, what's it entail? And I said, well, it's no big deal. They just go in front of the city council and you give them our numbers and that's it. There's not a lot of people there. And I was one definitely not for public speaking. So I get there and it's like, holy, you know what? There's no parking. Find a spot to park. I get in there, standing room only. 2 TV stations are in there with their cameras.
They must have heard about you.
Oh, yeah. They knew I was going to get the key to the city in about 7 or 8 years. That was the day that they officially made Jason Soto the police chief.
Oh,
so
okay.
I picked a bad day to go there, and I got through it. But I call it like baptism by fire.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet. Nothing like having all the eyes on you.
So after I can do that. I can do anything.
Appreciate it. Ron, any parting words here about people who are listening, what they should know about your organization before we take a break?
I would just like to say, if people are interested to contact us, they can email us at save@reno.gov.
Right. Okay. save@reno.gov.
Yes,
Perfect.
sir.
Thank you very much, Ron. Love it. And you're the first person I met that got a key to the city.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more What Drives Reno on 1060 AM KFOY, Radio for America.
Looking for a venue for your next event? The National Automobile Museum can host any event in a variety of venues to choose from. Have an awards ceremony in the 157-seat theater or select one of several themed galleries for a business luncheon or banquet. Guests will love the 16,000 square foot Riverside Pavilion, complete with outdoor bar, heaters, and fire pits. Everything you need, including chairs, linens, staging, and AV equipment, are also available. Go to automuseum.org for details.
I'm having my birthday at the National Automobile Museum. They have this cool birthday zone with Mater and Lightning McQueen. And their brand new Children's Activity Center has fun games like Junior Engineering Studio, Lego Building, an interactive car wash, and a lot more too. They even have a theater where we can watch a movie or play Mario Kart. I even get my own birthday t-shirt.
Book your child's ultimate birthday party today at the National Automobile Museum. Visit automuseum.org/events.
We're back with more What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. And now here's your host, Phil McDougall.
Welcome back, everybody. Two great guests there. Very grateful. I learned a lot every time someone comes in and talks about what they do. You think you know about S.A.V.E. You think you know about lowriders, Terry, but you get to know the people behind them, and there's so much more involved.
Yeah, especially, and especially like the S.A.V.E. organization. I knew there were volunteer organizations, but I didn't know exactly what they did, and I didn't realize that they handle front desk at City Hall. That's amazing.
They do, and 10 million. What did you say? 10 million?
10 million. That's the 10 point something million. That's real money.
That's real money. Yeah, absolutely.
That's real money.
And, they're always friendly. They're a big part of the museum, a big part of downtown, and big deal. And it's really cool because it's nice to see organizations like that get recognized, especially with a key to the city.
Yeah, it is.
It was fun.
And then Arlien and Miguel are amazing. And it's funny because my dad, my dad owned a body shop. And that's that. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I grew up in a body shop. I mean, that's my. So I know what the smell of Bondo. Oh, I love the smell of Bondo. Anyway, and so when my dad never fully retired. Once he sold his shop and then still kept a shop somewhere, and he restored cars. And so he would restore 38 Chevy or, whatever, 56, whatever you've got. He did a lot. Well, he had this knack for hydraulics, and he was really good at it. And one of his buddies was a lowrider guy. And this is back in the late 80s, early 90s when lowriders were still, it was like they were saying, it was associated with questionable.
Yeah, it had a reputation that wasn't favorable.
And but my dad had and so a buddy of his was building one. He's like, and my dad, and he was having trouble with the hydraulics, the mount, whatever. And so my dad goes, "Let me give it a shot," and ended up doing a really cool job. And then that's all he did. He restored cars and then put hydraulics on lowriders.
I wasn't exaggerating. When we did a couple of lowrider exhibits there, just the engraving alone, I think they said like one of it was like $150,000 to do underneath the car.
Yeah.
And then I'm always rushing. I don't know about you. I'm rushing.
Yeah.
I don't get a chance to really absorb or appreciate. But when I do, like I went down to the Peterson Museum, a good partner of ours, and I saw that exhibit and I had a chance to talk to some of the people. You learn. It's exactly what they said. They're passionate. It's a form of artwork.
Yeah.
It's a community, camaraderie, and they are everyone you work with. They're the PTA folks working at the grocery store, running the companies. They had this reputation, maybe 70s, 80s, or whatever it was, but
it follows even though it's not true.
Yeah,
it still follows him to this day, and that's sad.
It's just going to get a chance to learn and appreciate because they're very passionate about it, and they take a lot of pride in your work, like anything. This is the way they express it.
Yeah.
All right, I want to remind everybody this show is made possible by the National Automobile Museum, which is located on the corner of Lake and Mill Street. If you've not been there recently, you don't know what you're missing. We change exhibits every 60 days. Grease is coming in. I might as well just talk about Grease.
Yeah.
Remember the movie The Grease?
Love the movie
So
Grease.
This is when you're going to do your little solo?
Yes.
I got chills and multiplying.
I've got chills and multiplying, but that's all you're getting.
That's all I got?
It's going to be spoken word because whatever.
Well, I guarantee almost everybody knows that. I had a group today from Mexico, and a lot of them have broken English, but when I brought them to the Grease car and I put them all there to take a group photo next to it, they all knew that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so funny. I said, "Okay, guys, just pose." They didn't just pose. They broke out in the first part of that song, and it was hilarious, and they had the best time. It's a universal thing. So where people come to the museum, again, every 60 days is a new one. I'm going to just touch base on what's happening next weekend.
Yeah, please do.
So next weekend at the museum, last weekend we had Mr. Machine and Scooby and Velma and all these people that were there, and the line was around the corner taking photos.
Yeah.
It was iconic. I just loved it. This coming weekend on Saturday, I think it's the 21st. Is that next weekend?
That is next weekend.
Next weekend from 11 to 1. We're going to go to the website for details, but we have the grease car that John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John did all the promotional experiences with. That's the car. It is in the museum. We built a 50 set. So we're encouraging people to get out their leather jackets, the blue jeans, the little poodle skirts, whatever they want. Get into character.
Get the plastic combs.
Get all into that stuff. And then we're going to be showing the movie Grease in our theater. Most people don't realize you have a theater. So we'll be showing the movie Grease. We're going to let people get in the car, not next to it, in the car. This is a once in a lifetime in the car. Take pictures. They just got to, the only thing is they just got to say one little word or one little chorus of something from Grease Lightning, a phrase, and then they get to do that.
Oh, Grease Lightning.
So they're going to, see, you wanted to do that.
I did, yeah.
So we're doing that next weekend. In addition to that, mark your calendars. I believe, I'm going to say the date wrong now. I believe it's August 28th, if that is a Friday night. So we're going to do a spell check here. You're going to check for me. On August 28th, we're going to have a Grease reunion party. We have rented out the drive-in theater. We're going to have a Sha-Na-Na like band. We're going to have refreshments. Did I get the date right?
What day is it supposed to be? A Saturday? It's supposed to be a Friday?
Friday.
You nailed it.
28th. Perfect. That's the first thing I've gotten right today. So we're going to be doing this. So if you're out there listening and you love that kind of music, or you are in a car club, we're going to be, it's first come, first serve. We're going to have you come in. It only holds 150 cars. There's nothing like it that we've done in the area before. You're going to have fun. There'll be a show and shine. We're going to have music and dancing. We encourage you to come in decor and the costumes and just have fun. And then we're going to try and get some people to do a little flash mob. So those who are listening, if you've seen that show, you know the ending when they get together, like, da-da-da-da. I'm not going to try and do that. They would do that, and we're going to do some videotapes, and we're going to share that with everybody, and then watch the movie. Just a good old-fashioned movie night, drive-in night.
It sounds great, man.
And it's first come, first serve. We will be launching tickets next week.
Okay.
And I guarantee you they're going to go.
It's going to go fast.
First 7 days, they're all going to be gone.
Yeah.
And we can't fit any more than 150 cars in there. So that's going to be fun. All right. I want to switch gears because I had the pleasure, the honor, actually, of going back down. This is the third show I've done with Jay and Jay Leno's Garage. Mm-hmm. And I'm privileged because the reason that I'm invited, nothing to do with me, it's because the National Automobile Museum and the amazing automobiles they have.
Yeah.
So he asked to have, we did one with the Thomas Flyer, won the race around the world. We did another one with the Ferrari, which was Bill Harris' personal car, and it got, he wanted to go faster to get up to Tahoe. That's a whole story itself, and he put a 365 Ferrari engine into it. And you want to be conspicuous. How conspicuous
How's
is
that going to work?
And then in addition to that, we had the Gia, Frank Sinatra's car that we did, and Ray Liotta was there with Jay. That was another whole story. But last week we did a show, Jay Leno's Garage, and we had the 1938 Phantom Corsair.
Wow. That's is that the Hines family?
That's the Hines. So I'm going to give you just a 30-second overview on it. It actually should be a movie. Well, car was in a movie at one time. So in 1938, there was a gentleman named Rust Hines. Rust Hines was the son of the founder of Heinz 57 Varieties.
Okay. Ketchup and all of it.
He was the heir
A1.
He was the heir to millions and millions and millions of dollars. So not unlike today, Rust was in college, he was at Yale, and he just said, no, I want to do something different. I do not want to be in the ketchup business. I do not want to be in this world. So he dropped out of college, and he says, I'm going to go to California. Now, this is 1938. We weren't really recovered from the Depression and all that yet. And he wanted to be a designer. So he said, I'm going to design my car. He started working. He was only like 21 at the time.
Wow.
He started designing this futuristic car. and it was literally, if you haven't been to it, it's at the museum. It's coming back this week. A Phantom Corsair. It looks like an early version of the Batmobile.
Okay.
And the rumor is it was on the internet. Now, if it's on the internet, it must be true. Right?
Of course, absolutely.
That it was the early Batmobile concepts kind of came from this car. But Rust Hines came out, short version is, Mom and Dad said no. Can I relate to our listeners? Got kids? No, You're going to go to college. He says, nope, I'm going to go be a designer. I want to design automobiles. His aunt that lived in Pasadena, she said, come on out here. I'll take care of you. You know, the good aunt that always takes care of him. He wanted to design a car. Family said no. She gave him the money. It cost $24,000 back in 1938 to develop this car.
It's got to be a couple $100,000 now, I'm guessing.
$550,000.
Wow.
So that's not, and the average salary for a family, I looked this up, was about $1,200 a year. Oh my God. His goal was to put it down to a selling price like 12, but that's still a lot of money. A rich man's car. So when it comes down to, most people know Tucker, you know, Revolutionary, his car, the movie. He was 11 years later. So Rust Hines was way before that.
And he's doing this when there's really no aftermarket part industry where he can just go and pick and choose things.
No, he literally
machined it himself, right?
Machined it himself, and people go, "Oh well, he had all these other people." No, the proof is that his original sketches are almost identical to the final version. And back then it was like earth-shattering. So he wanted the teardrop design. He was obsessed with aerodynamics and making sure that the flow and it looked good. Not really practical. Yeah. So I'm going to get into too much of the storytelling here, but to cut the story short, he created this car. He went out and there was a movie called Young in Heart. And it was on the Jay Leno show. I could not remember that. I wrote it on my hands, like all over my hands, and I just could not remember that name. It was nicknamed the Flying Wombat. Oh, wow. So most people thought of it as that. They didn't know the real car. He did all this promotion, like the ultimate promoter, like Colonel Parker with Elvis, and got all that. Short version is, it was before it went into production, he went home back to Pennsylvania to visit his family. The day he got there, he went out with his friends, another person he knew from school, in the other person's car, convertible, and they went to a party, and they came back from the party. He wasn't driving, but this friend, his hat flew off. And he did an immediate U-turn right in the middle of the road to get his hat without looking. Oh. Got hit, and 6 people got injured severely, but he was the only one that passed away. So he died at 25 years old. All the dreams, everything went out the window. The family obviously was devastated, put it in the warehouse. Had like 5 or 6 different owners at that time, including, just so many different people. So long story short, it was really unique. It was built on an A10 cord frame. Everything else was unique. It had obsessive on the installation. It's kind of ironic. The padding was amazing, thick. He had, I don't know why, but he had the bulletproof glass put into it. You got to check out Google Phantom Corsair to describe it. So we did all that. Now it comes down to the show. So I'm already nervous enough. We go down. Only Jay Leno could take the car and say, I can't go on the road with it. He goes, we're going to go down the street, but we're going to go and take a little shortcut. And we're going to go around during the middle of the day, Burbank Airport. Okay. So we're driving around Burbank Airport. Now, this car hasn't been driven like this for a long time. And, they got the cameras in there and they get everything else going on. And the director is saying, okay, now let's talk about the gauges. They had like 50 gauges. The short version is, at the very end, we're getting a little nervous because the car's been going really fast. And the director goes, can you talk about the gauge, Jay? The big gauge in the middle. And Jay goes, yeah, it's a big gauge. And the director goes, can you elaborate a little more, Phil? Can you talk about it? Jay, he goes, I have no brakes, and the emergency brake seems not to be working. I'm just focusing on not dying right now. and then we go, and then I realized he's sincere. Yeah. So he had him, but it was like just, it's an old car. Yeah. Things happen.
White knuckle with it.
I was almost, I don't even want to knock on wood. My claim to fame would have been not very good if we had an accident in that car. No. It's all aluminum. Yeah. The whole outside was aluminum. So fun thing was he brought us back. It's great exposure for the National Automobile Museum. I can't even say that fast. And we're great to have him as a partner, and hopefully we're going to have him back here this spring.
Wow, that's amazing. And I just like it. Just for me, just as far as just a comedy fan, he's up there with he's an all-time great just stand-up comedian, and not even speaking of the Tonight Show and every other thing he's done. It's just it's great that the museum's associated with him.
He has been great. I want to emphasize something. I've had the pleasure of meeting some we'll call it celebrities in my life. And there's different versions of them. There's the version when the camera's on, and there's the version when the camera's off. I'm going to tell you two. We had a speaker series, and Governor Joe Lombardo, I had the pleasure of interviewing him. The most down-to-earth, nice man you're ever going to meet. On there, answer any questions you want to meet. I've met people when the camera is on, they're all nice. When the camera's off, they don't even give the time of day. Jay Leno is one of the nicest men you're ever going to meet. Yeah. He starts off every time, hey, if you mess up, don't worry about it. I'll mess up. Don't, you just go with the flow. Yeah. The only thing that kind of threw me is you do the intro, and it's not scripted, so you never know what's going to happen. And he does the whole intro. He brings me out. I say it. I go, oh, my God, I said that right. I didn't flub it up. Then his phone goes off in his pocket.
Oh, no.
He goes, cut. Okay, we got to start over and do it again. It's never as good the second time.
No.
But he's a great man, very, very nice.
Good. That does not surprise me, because all the stories I've just heard about him is he's the same on and off every time, and he never changes. It's him. Every time you see him on camera, that's him.
The last time we did a show, I was back east, and my phone rang, and it said unknown. I might have shared this with you. And I go, I'm not going to pick it up. I'm all these spam calls. And I picked it up, and I go, like, hello. I just said just like that. He goes, Phil, this is Jay. And I thought it was something. I go, okay, Jay. It's like, what's that guy in State Farm?
Jake from State Farm?
It's like Jake from State Farm. Is this really what are you wearing, Jake?
Yeah.
And it was Jay Leno. So I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time to do the show with us. We really appreciate it.
Wow.
He's taking the phone calls. Usually you got 5 other assistants doing it. It was a nice personal touch.
Just him.
And after the first, I don't really remember what I said to him because it was a big blur. But I was just grateful that he did it. Okay, so before we kind of wrap up, that's my long story. Sorry for you listening, but it's interesting to know that these people like Jay and others are so down to earth.
Yeah.
I want to remind people the show is made possible by the National Automobile Museum. We have a full podcast show, a studio down at the museum. We have a movie theater. We have 105,000 square feet, 14,000 square foot patio outside on the river. And the reason I want to bring up the river is that we just announced our summer concert series, and I guarantee you it's going to sell out. 4 acts. Guess who they are? I bet you know some of them.
I probably do. I'm going to
Tributes.
Tribute. Oh, okay. I'm going to guess the Eagles.
Eagles tribute.
CCR.
Yes.
Beatles.
Yes.
And
I told you these.
No, but there's one. But there's one I'm forgetting that it's not coming to my mind. So I'm just going to throw out Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I got
good. No, I wish Jimmy Buffett tribute. So the
perfect.
Beatles,
yes.
Jimmy Buffett tribute, the CCNR, and it's just going to be a fun time. I guarantee those who are listening, you're going to know every one of those songs. It's going to take you back in time. Bring your lawn chair out, dance with us, have some refreshments there, and enjoy the National Automobile Museum.
Wow.
Sound like a plan?
That sounds like a great plan.
So where do you go? You go to automuseum.org. You get your tickets. I'm going to give you a heads up. They're $20.
Wow.
And you can go ahead. If you buy a ticket for every one of them, you're going to get I think $10 off. So you can't go. It's a fun night for the family, and you're going to know every song.
And if you become a member, you get discounted tickets, right?
Yes. Thank
you.
Remember, you get discounted tickets, and there's always something new happening in the museum. I want to thank everyone for listening to us today. Terry, thank you for everything you do. Our guests were amazing, and we look forward to seeing you next week, but I hope I see you at the museum before.
You've been listening to What Drives Reno, presented by the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. For more information about the museum, head on over to our website, automuseum.org. We'll be back next Saturday at 11 a.m. with What Drives Reno on 1060 a.m. KFOY, Radio